Hi everyone, today I'd like to do my favourites of 2010. Sorry it's a bit late, but I was ill for a while just with flu. I think 2010 was a vintage year for makeup. I've got so many favourites and the criteria is if I lost it would I be really upset and buy it again. Let's get started in no particular order. I've got quite a few, so I'm going to launch right in. The first thing which I want to say is I'm wearing this now and I really like this. It's e.l.f. Mineral Booster in Tinted, and what I really like about this is that I recently did a favourites video for e.l.f. and I've mentioned this. It is tinted, but on any skin tone. The only thing I hate is the packaging, as with all mineral products. It's an absolute nightmare, but it's £3.50, so you know you don't get too upset when a load of it falls on the floor, because you can just buy it again. And it works on every skin tone, I reckon, because it works on Oxford Jasmine's skin tone, it works on my skin tone. It lasts quite a while, and it's not oil controlling exactly, but it really finishes off your face and it still retains that skin looking quality, so you can't tell you're wearing powder, but your pores just get completely erased and you look really smooth, and I just really highly recommend it. Really nice stuff. Might as well do the e.l.f. things together actually. Lip liner and blending brush. I don't really use the blending brush. This comes in only one shade, which is Natural. And I couldn't find it, but I really have a strong suspicion that this is exactly the same shade as MAC Subculture, the cream stick liner, because I used to use the Subculture liner all the time, and now I use this one, and it's just really fantastic. Really smooth and really nice, natural, rosy colour, which just looks so good with nude lips. I can't see any difference in the quality of this and MAC or Estee Lauder. Just really am impressed with the formula. It's creamy, it lasts, and great colour. It feels like I've had this forever, because ever since I've got this I seriously use it every day, and I would be really annoyed if this went missing, because it's just so multi-purpose. And this is the complexion brush. I use this with Complexion Perfection, and which is the e.l.f. mattifying powder. I use it with other powders, blusher, contouring. It's just really useful to have around, saves me a lot of time. And I really like Complexion Perfection, but it goes down very quickly, so that's why I didn't really include it as a favourite. I've included a different powder as my favourite, and here is that powder. This is actually a Becca that I picked up, so I can't show you the shade, but I think I've shown it before. And this is NYC Smooth Skin, and actually I'll open it for you. This is, I think, about £2, and it's just so wonderful. It comes with a crappy sponge, of course, but it looks like that when it's new. And this is just like MAC Blot Powder, really is so similar, and it lasts really well. You get 9.4 grams, so quite a decent amount. It's got a mirror, it's a really nice size, compact, slim, and it really does control oil, and it's pretty much a dupe for blot powder, so really suggest you check that one out. It has very good reviews on Makeup Alley as well. That's why I picked it up. Next two things I'd like to mention are quite similar, so I'm putting them together. I got this in a magazine, so I got it really cheaply. I think the real price is £17, so I'm not sure that it's worth that, but it's Benefit It Stick, and I just really do adore this for inside the inner corner, or even as a concealer at a push. It's not the best concealer, but for around the sides of the nose, if you carry this around in your handbag, you will reach for it and realise how useful it is. And for the Cupid's bow and for the eyebrow arch, I just really like it. I was going to say that Illamasqua Vow was my favourite, but This is just like Illamasqua Vow, but fatter pencil nib, so really like that. And I also really like this, which is NYX Milk Jumbo Pencil, and again I use this, it's a white, I use it for the inner corner, and I even sometimes use it as somewhat of a concealer highlighter underneath the eye and just smooth it down. So really useful once again, very creamy, both the same consistency, same thing. As for a sharpener, I actually don't like the Benefit sharpener, and I found this amazing sharpener, and it's really cheap, and it's by Bourjois, and it's got a fat side and a thin side, and all the sharpenings go in this box. So it's very neat, really good sharpener. So if you've got fat pencils and you don't know how to sharpen them, I really highly suggest you check this out. It's brilliant sharpener. And I'm really fussy about sharpeners, so love that. There's a backup, so again, you can just see it through the packaging, and it pretty much goes on the way it looks, but it's stuffed full of glitter. If you don't like glitter, you won't like this. But I really quite like glittery lips and frosty lips. I've grown to like them for some reason as I get older. I think it makes lips look very plump. And this is by Accessorize. They've just brought out a new makeup range, and this is my favourite colour, and it's shade 2, which is Temptation. And I've bought a few backups whilst there was a 3 for 2 offer at Superdrug, and I really love it. It's got a doe foot applicator, and I love the smell. It smells of butter to me, and I really quite like the smell of butter, so love that. And as it fades, it leaves behind a load of glitter, so again, love or hate thing, but I really like that. Seeing as I've touched on lips, I'd like to mention my 2 favourite lipsticks, and I feel like this is my favourite lipstick of all time, but anyway, it's MAC Style Warriors limited edition lipstick, so I'm not going to dwell on this. This is Brave New Bronze, and I've spoken about it before in my favourite lipsticks tag, and I feel like I've always mentioned it. But I found this, and this is by Guerlain, and this is the Rouge G de Guerlain, I think it's called, I'm not sure. It's really decadent, it's very expensive for a lipstick. I think it's varying towards £30 territory, which I always swore I would never spend more than £20 on a lipstick, but even Temptalia, she tries every single lipstick, and she said something on her blog to the effect of, you know, when I try Guerlain lipsticks, it makes me realise how rubbishy all other lipsticks are. And I would go as far as saying that if you've not tried a Guerlain lipstick from this Rouge G range, because I don't really like the Kiss Kiss range, but if you've not tried one of these, then you don't know lipstick, because this is just the formula, something amazing. So you open it and that pops out, so you get your mirror there, and it really is quite useful to have a mirror on the go. And obviously if you're going to spend this much, you're going to pull it out at every opportunity, at dinner and so on, very casually of course. The thing is, I was with a group of people and I pulled it out of my bag, and someone said, I didn't know you smoked, and ever since then I've seen it as kind of like a chunky lighter and almost like chavvy, so I'm really annoyed that he said that, because it's kind of ruined it for me. But also it must be said that these are not refillable as far as I'm aware, so it's a bit wasteful, and you know, it will end up in landfills, so that's kind of sad. Anyway, coming back to the point, this colour is, they don't seem to have the colour on the barrel, but it's the palest shade, and that's the shade, and it's actually, I'll just show you with, I'll just show it to you with Brave New Bronze. It's actually pretty much a dead-on dupe, so I'm really happy with that. As with all MAC lipsticks, it can be just ever so slightly drying, whereas this goes on really creamy, really just feels like your lips. You can't feel a thing. It's just amazing. So just buy yourself one of these as a treat, and it's a real pick-me-up, and you'll just really enjoy using it. You really will. Lasts very well and feels brilliant throughout the day. I think I'll do highlighters now. This is probably my absolute favourite highlighter that I've found right now, and this is by Becca. I recently went to a Becca event over Christmas and I bought the lip palette which I reviewed. I think it was one of my last videos. And after that I bought a few more Becca things, and possibly I'll do a haul video with all the stuff that I've bought since I've been away. And anyway, some of it was great and some of it was okay. This is called Loose Shimmer Powder in Hyawatha. I've also got another loose shimmer powder which I got at the event called Princess, I think. I'll have to check, but that one is more of a blusher on me, and this one is a clear, like Naked Pigment by MAC, but somehow more radiant and more finely milled, and just goes on really beautifully and lights up my face in a very imperceptible way. So absolutely adore this, and you get quite a decent amount of product, 4.5 grams, so the same as MAC, and just really sweet packaging, like that a lot. When I first got this I got a dud and it was rubbishy, really chalky, but then I swapped for another one, and then I bought one from eBay, and I've now got a couple of these and they're both really good. It's limited edition by MAC and it's called Perdect Topping, and it's really nice cool toned kind of amber but with some mauve in it. It's really flattering for cool toned pale skin, but I've found that this is actually a dupe, and this is Too Faced and it's Snow Bunny. It's so beautiful. In fact, to be honest, I like all of these. I managed to get this set. I think it's discontinued. It's called the Bronzed and the Beautiful, and I already knew that I loved Sun Bunny or Snow Bunny. I find it really similar to Perdect Topping, and Pink Leopard is also really outstanding as well, so highly recommend checking out any of these. Two brushes which I really like as well. This is the Trish McEvoy number 30 eye blending brush, and this is an exact dupe for the MAC 217. It's really dense and it's firm. It's that ultimate blending brush for the first step of doing your crease, a defined crease, but it's a lot softer and it's just something about it's a lot more pleasant to use. I think the bristles are somewhat longer. I'm not 100% sure because I got rid of my 217, it just got too scratchy, and I think MAC brushes after a while they do go scratchy. They are excellent, but Trish McEvoy is just, her brushes are in a league of their own. I think they're the best you can get at the department store, so really do check one out, any of her brushes. I think they're all fabulous. The Louise Young fairly new brush, and this is apparently, according to Pixie Woo, exactly like the old MAC 224, which apparently was slimmer and kind of slender and soft and excellent for your crease as well. Very elegant and does the job with absolute panache. Beautiful brush. And also by Louise Young. I don't have the brush numbers on there, so I will have to check this, but this is the really fine tipped eyeliner brush, and I don't think this was very expensive, and it's just brilliant. It's really fine, and for liquid eyeliner I just adore it. It's my favourite brush. I used to use angled brushes, but now I just tend to use this all the time. Really expertly made brushes. And this is my other favourite, and this is the MAC 224. And to be honest, this was rather neglected because it's quite big, so it only really came out when I was doing very extravagant smoky eye looks. And anyway, Pixie Woo, once again, I use this for under eye concealing. I found that it works beautifully for that, very soft, and really does blend it in just to an absolute natural finish, and even the stodgiest, rubbishiest concealers with this they turn into really good concealers, so magic brush for that. Now, staying with Louise Young, this is a toss-up between the Guerlain lipstick or this palette in terms of being my ultimate favourites. I'm not sure, but I so adore this. In fact, I'm going to IMATS this year. I'm going to blog about this and perhaps do a separate video, but anyway, Louise Young is going to be speaking at IMATS, and if she's got a stall and if she's selling this, especially if there's any kind of discount, I'm getting a backup ASAP. And when I really love something, I keep it in its box. Usually I just throw boxes away, but I really like this box. There's something very 70s and retro about it. It's really understated, it's sleek. I just so adore it, and it doesn't look cheap. And this is only £30, which I think is a really good price. And the palette as well, beautiful palette. And it's got 5 eyeshadows, and it comes with one of her brushes. And as I've mentioned, her brushes are brilliant. And this is a really lovely brush. This is such a good deal, honestly. And it comes with a mirror inside. And these are the eyeshadows. And I thought that this Terracotta shade might be bad on me, but it's actually really flattering and beautiful. Every single shade of this pigmentation is flawless, and all of these shadows are matte, and the texture of these is just the finest quality, most amazing eyeshadow. I don't even know what company to compare it to. It's like the MAC Matte Squared eyeshadows, actually. I think that's the closest. Very satiny, buildable and peerless quality. Really such a favourite. I can't overstate that. I'm really thrilled with this. And again, I've kept this in the box, which is testament to how much I love it. This is by Illamasqua, and it's from the Art of Darkness collection, but I think it's permanent, and it's a pigment called argh. And one thing is, I think this is completely overpriced because you get a tiny amount of product, and that's another reason I've kept it in the box, because I have to ration myself with this. It is expensive. You get 1.3 grams, which is less than an eyeshadow, and you know, when you're buying pigments, it's usually because it's more cost effective than buying an eyeshadow, so that rather defeats the purpose. And I think it was £15, so I think that's a lot, but the colour just is so beautiful. It's exactly like MAC Antique Reflex Antique Gold, but without the grittiness, and it's just such a beautiful, amazing colour. And again, Temptalia said on her blog, see how fantastic it's glittering, and it's still got the pigment, and that wasn't using very much. So unlike MAC Reflex Antique Gold, which is almost impossible to build up, especially you'd have to use a base, this one retains its base colour. So mesmerising, the glitteriness and the beautiful tone of it, like a cool toned gold. But £15 seems like a bargain almost, because it's just so amazing. So love that. Really special pigment and really smooth. So highly recommend it. I love the packaging as well. I love that kind of Egyptian beetle design. Next, I'm going to talk about a couple of Trish McEvoy products. This is the closest I've found to a dupe for MAC's girl-friendly paint pot, which I really adore, but it's discontinued and I don't have a backup. It's that kind of mauvey, dusky pink, and this is called Eye Base Essentials in Demure. It's got a doe foot applicator, take out the stopper, and the product is really easy to get out because it's obviously quite a simple packaging. And it is a bit more expensive than I would like, but the colour is just so stunning that you can use it by itself, so it fully justifies paying a bit extra to have that wonderful colour. I really like that, and it stops any eyeshadow creasing as well. It really works. It's got a tiny bit of glitter, so not enough to be garish. Essential pencil in Barely There, number 12. And I really like this because it's a very natural shade, and you can line your lips and then fill them in, and it's really easy for a day when you don't want to look like you're wearing makeup, so I love that. And I think it's also a bit more pricey than I would like, but it's just very creamy. I don't find it drying at all, and I think it's lasted quite a while, so I would definitely buy this again. Something else by Becca which I really adore. These are similar to the Bobbi Brown Pot Rouges, but I much prefer these. The consistency, the lasting power is somewhat better. I didn't really love the Bobbi Brown Pot Rouges, but these are really easy to use and they work really nicely on lips and cheeks. And this one is called Lip and Cheek Cream in Blossom. And you've got a mirror one side and the actual product here. You do get less product, but it's just a lot nicer. And I love this colour for lips. It blanks out my pigmented lips, but without making it look very nude and ghostly and horrid. And it also works very nicely on the cheeks for an incredibly natural flush of colour. So highly recommend that as well, and very useful to carry around. Talking of blushes, no matter how many different blushes I buy, I don't know why, I just keep coming back to this. And I probably mentioned this last year, and ever since I got it I've been raving about this. I think they're quite underrated. These are by Barry M. You get 7 grams. Packaging is hideous, yes, but the product itself is very similar to a MAC blusher, quite smooth, and the colour just instantly brightens up your face. This one is in number 2, but I've also got the Terracotta one. I think this is called Rose, if I remember rightly, and I just really like the way these apply and the way they last throughout the day. Brilliant, brilliant blushes and really cheap. But my ultimate favourite blusher has got to be by Guerlain, and this was quite difficult to decide because as I said, I'm going to do a Guerlain haul and mention a few really nice things. And this is my horribly bashed up one, but I do have the real one as well. This was me trying to depot it to save space, but don't do that. And this is Blush and Sun in, I think, number 2. I'll put the details below, and I just really adore it because it really is exactly like the name suggests, Blush and Sun. It's very tanned looking, but very genuine tan. It's got a slight sheen, a lovely rosiness, just the right hint of bronze. Quite hard to find now, but you can find it online. The next thing I want to mention is Bobbi Brown, who I've just slated. I'm really not a fan of Bobbi Brown, but I have to say the Bobbi Brown corrector, again, I love the packaging, the fact it's got a mirror, and this is in light peach, and you only get 1.7 grams, but you don't need a lot, and this is honestly like a magic remedy. Your dark circles just instantly go. It's really brightening, and really don't have a bad word to say against it. It's not too greasy. It's way better than the Laura Mercier Secret Concealer or the Benefit Erase Paste, but it's that same idea, and I just really like it and really suggest you look into it if you've been looking for an under-eye concealer. And now I'd like to talk about 2 Bare Essentials, Bare Minerals eye products. I mentioned this in my review, and I'm currently wearing Frost, which is a silver. I quite like that, but these are just my absolute favourite. Really lift your whole face, and every time I wear these I tend to wear hardly any other makeup because it just seems to make your face look like it doesn't need makeup. I don't know how. And this one is Glisten and this one is Spotlight, and for swatches just go to my review, but as you can see through the barrel there are 2 types of gold. This one's Spotlight is more of a greenish gold, and Glisten is more of a cool toned gold, and there is some fallout but nothing major. Just use before you apply your foundation and you'll be fine. I really do highly suggest you get these, and they're permanent additions, so you can find them at any Bare Essentials store or counter. The final thing is by Estee Lauder, and it's Spotlight, and this really is HG because this makes even double wear. You can thin it down to being just a tinted moisturiser if you like, and every time I wear this my skin looks really glowy and it feels very refreshing. It's cooling and it does have some slight fragrance, which usually would be a sort of kiss of death for me, but the fragrance is not offensive. I just really like it and I really like the packaging, everything about it. This is definitely something which I'm always going to make sure I've got in my collection. So those are my favourites. It's taken quite a while and this is probably going to be my longest video to date. I hope you check out at least some of these items. All the best. Bye.